Hello and welcome to my newest video. Today I'm going to take a quick first look at War Riders. Now, what is War Riders? It's the first decentralized MMO strategy game of mining cryptocurrency and blowing up cars. That definitely sounds like a great combination. So basically you can watch the trailer yourself. I'm going to post a link to the game in the video description as I always do. It's warriders.com put together. So what's the game? Are you ready for a real apocalypse on the blockchain? If so, then fill up your tank and buckle up. War Riders can build their own war vehicles from scratch with customized logos and messaging. Use your vehicle to mine and attack enemies from benzene. What does it mean, benzene? I'm sorry, is that the name? Oh, so stuck up with benzene. Also, that's basically their in-game currency and how you have these kind of value curves and how you can have a decent return on investment. I guess you trade Ethereum for the in-game currency benzene. So I guess that's a kind of a funny name of talking about. I don't know what it means, benzene, to be honest, but I don't even know if it's being pronounced this way, but yeah, maybe someone in the comments below can shed some light on that. All other forms of money are gone and benzene is the only currency left to trade in this wasteland. Obviously it's placed in some kind of apocalyptic future. Mine for benzene by driving through waypoints and raid other players to take their coins. Mining War Riders is simple, just discover benzene in the wasteland and claim it. So basically you always drive around the car. I don't know if this is how the game will work, or will you actually run around with the character and you will get into the cars, or will be just like a battle arena where you fight against others with your car and then you kind of gain this benzene by winning against others, or maybe you scavenge these other cars in this wasteland and the other cars are being controlled by other players. Again, not really know yet, just a first look video. Now what's really interesting about this game is that I think it will have a full control system, so you have actual gameplay. You will actually be able to control and drive your cars. It won't just be like a turn-based system or any kind of system where you start and the whole battle of cars against each other or races is being done automatically and you're only being shown the results. But this will use real control and real gameplay, and the reason it does so is because they're using a hybrid chain. And I have talked about this. I don't know if the video will come out first or later. I have talked about in a few other videos about hybrid chain as opposed to like only have a partial integration of blockchain. So you have a blockchain that is in control of all the valuable assets, the digital assets, so all of what is kind of attached to value, anything that has value in a game, any kind of in-game items you accumulate is being stored on the blockchain, and partial integration would be that the gameplay is still being done on the servers. So the normal video game industry, especially for multiplayer games, most of them is being done on the server side, and the servers, they are all part of the company that runs these games, so mostly publishers or developers themselves. And again, I'm always a major proponent of a partial integration because I don't think any game can be really fun. Maybe there are a few exceptions like turn-based games. We have kind of the option to take your time and wait for the transaction on the smart contract on the blockchain to go through. But in case if you have full control games, if you have actual gameplay, we have to kind of run around with the character and interact with the game. You don't want to wait every time for any kind of transaction to go through, and especially because you also have to pay every time you do a transaction, you execute a transaction. So this is one option, partial integration, but it will still kind of defeat the purpose of blockchain technology because you need some sort of centralization, and a lot of people don't want that. Now hybrid chain is the other option, as you can see here from the screen. So basically hybrid chain means that you have a side chain, so the heavy load of the digital assets, the value still runs on the blockchain, but the other part that would otherwise run on the centralized servers is still decentralized because it runs on the sidechain. Now there are a few sidechains that are already being introduced right now and they're being developed. One of the most popular probably is being Lightning Network, and Lightning Network was supposed to be a sidechain for Bitcoin, making the whole system more scalable, faster. I think for Ethereum it's called Raiden Network, which also is being introduced 2018, I think, maybe latest 2019 in the beginning. I'm not too sure. Maybe someone who knows more can post a comment below and let me know, and the rest of the community. But getting back to my point about hybrid chain, so basically they kind of serve the purpose of taking the heavy load, the whole resources that the whole gameplay puts on the game, and especially on the main blockchain. I mean, probably you have heard about the whole network congestion of Ethereum that took a heavy load on all the transactions being executed, and it took for some even 10 minutes for some even longer for whole transactions to be successful, and sidechains kind of are supposed to be a solution to that. So again, as you can see here from this visualization, you have the players and they're connected to an ERC-721 token. This is kind of the value token, I guess, and you have the whole sidechains, and they're being they're being responsible for the whole gameplay, so to speak, and they take the heavy load of the gameplay, while the other side takes the load of storing the digital assets and kind of helping the whole main advantages of blockchain technology come to the full potential, or kind of realizing the full potential. So yeah, this is definitely an interesting idea, and I think more and more games will kind of decide to go for a sidechain. There are also a lot of, well, not a lot of, but a few relatively popular crypto or blockchain game sidechains developed and introduced right now. One of the most popular being dapp chains by the developers of Crypto Zombies. And Crypto Zombies, for those of you who don't know, is one of the biggest tutorials for anyone interested in blockchain technology and coding blockchain technology, especially for crypto games. So you can definitely check that out. Again, I don't know what company they belong to, but they have introduced dapp chains, and they kind of release all these different ideas and kind of products, so to speak, and websites and platforms to make it easier for people who are interested in developing their own crypto or blockchain game to do so. And that's definitely an interesting development in the whole crypto and blockchain game environment and industry, because it will make the whole idea of receiving mass adoption much more realistic in the future. Because obviously for the whole network congestion of Ethereum, the main issue is scalability. You don't really have the option to introduce much more transactions on the blockchain, because it will completely defeat the purpose of using it on a daily basis. And if you have a sidechain that takes off the load, you can still progress as you want to. So yeah, definitely an interesting idea. Walride is using it, so I can definitely see some great potential for this game. Right now they're in the pre-order stage. Walriders will be holding one of the largest pre-order campaigns in the history of blockchain gaming. That's quite interesting. Well, obviously a lot of these crypto and blockchain games do pre-orders or pre-sales, so to speak, to fund themselves, and that's always a good idea. But again, I'm not too much of a fan, because I've met so much bad experiences with games that do a pre-sale and don't really deliver in terms of gameplay. And obviously a game is supposed to be played and not just invested in. And more importantly, if you only invest into a game, if you don't necessarily want to play it and you only see it as investment, you still want other people, the majority, to play it, because then this is the only option for the whole game to be successful and return to give you a decent return on investment. So yeah, I guess anyone who's interested in investing in these games is also interested in these games becoming successful. So yeah, definitely again an interesting idea. Check it out yourself. As I said, I'm going to post a link to Walriders in the video description. Also going to post a link to their Discord and Telegram channel, so you can talk to the developers, talk to the community, get a better feeling for the game. Because as I always say, please don't take this video as financial advice, and make sure to do your own research on these games before you invest any kind of cryptocurrency. There's also a decent roadmap. So right now, they actually started quite early. So in March 2015, they started. So right now we're in May 2018, launching pre-orders for premium grade vehicles. That's the pre-sale stage, and in-browser beta. This is always great. So in summer they're already planning to release their first beta, so you will be able to enjoy the gameplay and just get a feel for it, if it's an actual game or if it's just an investment for you. Either way, I guess it's going to be fine. Team experience, oh, that's always nice. So they have people from Apple, they have people from Universe, and a few popular universities, always great. Our company was built by, so they actually have a real company behind. That's also great, because a lot of games that do videos on, they often kind of tend to be from one person only. That doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing, but again, it kind of gives you more trust that this game, Walriders, is going to be taken more serious in terms of a longer time frame. Again, this is still an early stage of crypto and blockchain games, and it might just take time for any of these games to become successful and hopefully to receive mass adoption. So yeah, I've been talking long enough about this game. Check it out yourself. Hope you liked the video, and I'll see you next time. Bye.